So if we have been abandoned or we've experienced these moments of misattunement or disconnection, we then may not be able to recognize, let alone honor our own needs. So, what steps can we take then to stop doing that, to start putting our needs first, to not abandon ourselves um, in service of keeping others comfortable?
hmm Yeah, it's such a good question. I think, well, two things come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
One, I'm biased, but trauma-informed therapy
Yeah.
can make a huge difference in just starting to get familiar and noticing the parts of
Yeah.
ourselves that are, yeah, not attuned to us. They might be attuned to other people, but likely from a place of anxiety and fear. And
Yeah.
if we can, start to recognize them, build relationships with these parts of ourselves, there can be change. This also then has to be translated into the real world. So,
Yeah.
second thing that comes to mind is this, you can have micro exposures, you can have macro exposures, but I think a micro exposure is you notice the anxiety that comes with people pleasing and you can play out what would you do here? So you might feel anxiety. Oh, like I should probably pick up my phone and text this person to make sure they're not mad at me or whatever it
Right.
is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see that happening for yourself, and sometimes it happens subconsciously. So if we
Mm-hmm.
can bring conscious awareness to it, and we've done some of the background work, we might feel like we have a little bit more capacity to actually do the opposite.
Mm.
So that squirrel analogy I used before, we have the anxiety, we're like, let's do the thing, let's get it done, let's move.
Right.
Notice the squirrel and be the lion and actually
Ooh.
do the opposite, like lay back, sit back and notice you're safe, like you're okay. Nothing bad is happening right now as we do that. And just to normalize the heck out of it's going to feel really uncomfortable. And it's way easier said than done, which is why I'm giving this example with the background assumption that like you've done some of the inner work on like what part shows up, how do we counter it, how do we show our system we're safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Having some framework, some language to hold the experience. Because
Yes.
we're having this story come up and we need some guideposts to understand what's happening underneath. So yeah, noticing, being able to make a different choice. I love that you said, notice the squirrel, be the lion. I'm gonna start saying that to myself. It's so
That's awesome.
true. And just because the that feeling is there, it doesn't mean that we have to let it pull us forward. We can make a different choice. We can take a detour
hmm
at some point in the process. It's obviously it takes time to shift those long held patterns, but that awareness is a good first step of, okay, let me just notice I'm having this impulse. I might text the person anyway. At least I'm noticing this time.
Yeah, I think that's a great example of a micro improvement or a micro movement, right? You're at least noticing, like when we're
Yeah,
practicing mindfulness, at least there's an awareness of what's
right.
happening. And as time goes on, we want to go deeper than just that awareness, but to start,
Mm-hmm.
that's brilliant, right? And I'll say that to clients often when we uncover a behavior. I'll just say, your quote unquote homework is just
Yep.
notice. Don't even put any pressure on yourself to
Yep.
change. Just notice when that's happening and how that feels in your system.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's incredible for start to shifting the pattern. So you talked about micro exposures. So that might be a micro exposure. Okay, I'm potentially just observing, maybe making a slightly different choice. What would be a macro exposure?
Yeah, macro exposure would be just back to that texting example. So,
Mm-hmm.
say there's like legitimate conflict with someone. It could be a partner, a parent, colleague, anyone.
Yeah.
And it's unresolved. And you've said everything you can say. They haven't responded. You feel like you're dying inside. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
I need to reach out. I need to do the thing. Um, but they actually are the one that hurt you.
Yeah.
And really, they're the one that needs to come and meet you where you are and apologize and make amends and do all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so macro would be just being that lion, like stepping back,
Mm,
noticing all of that like squirrely tendency
hmm.
and desire and normalizing like how hard that is to
Yeah.
actually give space for the other person to show up because you're so worried. You're like, well, I have to show up to remove all doubt that they won't. Um,
Right.
we have to give them
Yep.
room to show up for you. And so
Yeah.
that would be I am actually not going to reach out to this person until they have because I've already done it, like balls in
Right.
their court, and that's on them. Like when I see that for clients, that's huge. That's huge
That's
growth.
huge. Yeah. That's really huge growth where you can tolerate creating more distance between the feeling and the action
Yes.
and giving them space to step forward. But you're right. We often will be the one that steps forward because we're worried that person won't show up for us, that will be disappointed. It's a self-protective mechanism when you're a big feeler.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but also then it prevents the other person from meeting you halfway,
Exactly.
or at least knowing if they will or they won't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's but reminding us that it takes time. We don't go from A to Z. We first maybe notice and do the same thing. And then slowly over time, with those resources holding us up, having your therapist bolstering you from beyond that, then you can get there safely. Because there's a lot of nervous system, relational work that needs to happen
Yeah,
behind the scenes. Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I'll just speak more as well to what can lead to a greater sense of
Right.
safety when
Yeah.
we're leaning away from the people pleasing and we're
Mm-hmm.
actually doing the opposite action than what we're
Mm-hmm.
used to be doing is in therapy or, in your own inner work, developing a relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
And when you can do that, what you're learning is that you are that secure person for this part of you that feels anxious. Like you are that reliable adult that this part, is looking for.